The story begins with the prison guard holding a lantern as Vanessa and Kanemiya quietly follow behind. The guard wonders, "My lady, are you really going to see that guy?" She coldly replies, "Yes." Hearing this, the prison guard anxiously advises, wanting to stop her. "But he's not someone worthy of you seeking him out. He's an unidentified intruder who trespassed in the Grand Duke's hunting grounds. And when he was found..." He hesitates, recalls the image of a young boy covered in blood, his entire body stained with someone else's blood. The soldiers surround Ian. Some are curious. "Ha! He's just a kid," they warn. "Hey you! This place is the private property of the Leon Grand Duchy," they threaten. "If you don't want to be arrested for trespassing, scram!" Ian indifferently tilts his head. "I thought I killed them all." He is slightly surprised. "There's still some left?" A guard is bewildered. "Wait, that kid..." He sees the bloody patches on Ian's clothes and seems to realize something unusual. "He doesn't seem like an ordinary child." The prison guard feels uneasy. If he hadn't suddenly collapsed, who knows what would have happened next? He reminds Kanemiya, "I have a bad feeling about this one." Kanemiya smiles gently, a smile as bright as flowers. She replies to the prison guard, "It's fine. I have my reasons, just take me to him." The prison guard obeys. "Yes, my lady." Kanemiya is polite. "Thanks." Her radiant beauty leaves the prison guard and Vanessa stunned. They both share the same thought. "No, we should be thanking you. Our lady is the best." The prison guard happily follows behind. He reminds Kanemiya, "Watch your step, my lady," he suggests. "Shall I carry you?" She quickly declines. "No, I'm fine." Vanessa, walking beside Kanemiya, offers her hand. "Then hold my hand, my lady." She agrees. "All right, I will." Kanemiya lowers her eyes slightly, feeling apologetic in her heart. "I'm sorry for being stubborn, but I have to meet that boy. There's a reason behind all of this." She muses. "I have a secret I can't tell anyone." Kanemiya explains the reasons for her secret. First, that I've reincarnated as Kanemiya Leon. Second, that this world is actually the setting of the Aldium Chronicles, a web novel I read in my previous life. She is apprehensive about the final reason. And third, that Kanemiya Leon is fated to die soon. I realized this not long after my father passed away. Kanemiya sits on the large, luxurious bed of a noble, thinking to herself, "That dream just now, it was memory from my past life." Kanemiya is shocked to realize. So this world is inside a novel? And not just any novel, it's one of those mass-produced cliché web novels, completely predictable and boring. She reassures herself. "No, that's not the issue right now," she complains. "Why did I have to be reincarnated as this character?" Interrupting her thoughts, Vanessa exclaims excitedly, praising Kanemiya. "Oh my lady! You got up on your own today? How adorable!" The infamous villainess, Kanemiya Leon. Her misfortune began with a family history soaked in grudges and blood. Kanemiya's grandfather, Kenneth Leon. He frowns irritably, glaring. "Take my temper? I'm the one cleaning up the mess you lot dumped on the Empire. And now you want me to speak prettily too?" Kenneth Leon, known as the Righteous Man, yells, "These piles of garbage dare to parade around as nobles? Atone with your lives. Oh, and don't forget to atone with money too." He also possessor of a razor-sharp tongue. Kenneth purged corruption from the Empire and executed countless nobles. Finally, he was poisoned in return. Revenge killing +1. Kanemiya's mother, Arya Leon, has the title Hero of the Empire. Arya, with swordsmanship beyond imagination, she conquered kingdom after kingdom. And on the day, another victory celebration, she was assassinated. A man fiercely raises the bow that was used to assassinate Arya, yelling while being held by the guards, "Traitor to the fatherland! Die!" Revenge killing +2. And lastly, Kanemiya's father, Troy Leon. The beautiful man cries his heart out. "My love! If you leave me and Mia like this, we..." Troy Leon, drowning in despair, special trait is beauty. Troy sat in the Grand Duke's seat purely thanks to his bloodline and looks, plus wife buff. In an effort to restore the Leon family and support his daughter, he started a business. Troy gives a standard smile, sitting as the host of the ladies' tea party, gently suggesting, "Ladies, what do you think about investing in my business?" This makes the ladies roll their eyes, thinking to themselves, "What a scam." He dejectedly touches his chin, showing off all his beauty. Is that not possible? The ladies can't resist and quickly reply. Yes. I'll invest. Using the funds he gathered with his looks, Troy's business succeeded. And a few years later, he was murdered. A crazed woman waves a knife in her hand, yelling, "With that angelic face, you stole my heart, and now what? You didn't mean to seduce me? You sly fox." Troy weakens in the arms of a servant. Another life lost to hatred, revenge killing +3. And so, Kinemia was left alone. Branded as the villainess of Leon, who inherited her grandfather's ruthlessness, her mother's aggression, and her father's beauty. A slanderous rumor that haunted her for life. She tries to explain. Ruthless? That's not true. Yes, I learned swordsmanship, but I've never harmed anyone. And I may take after my father, but that's not a bad thing, is it? But there was no one to stand by her side. Raised under the constant scrutiny of malicious eyes that twisted everything she did. Kinemia eventually grew into a truly crooked person, and she blossomed into a ruthless ruler. Her fate condemned by the protagonist, enraged by the desperate pleas of the suffering people. Finally, she was executed by guillotine. Kinemia dejectedly learns of her tragic end. Kinemia sits silently on the chair pondering for a while. An end of vengeance and death. I don't want to die. Vanessa can't bear to see her so downcast and softly calls, "My lady." She takes out a teddy bear and smiles, showing it to her. "Tada! A present for you. It's from a distant land, but it reminded me of you. Its blushing cheeks are so adorable, don't you think?" She whispers. Vanessa then accepts the gift. Feeling touched, she noticed that. She must have noticed I've been feeling down lately, so she's caring for me like this. Kinemia softly says, "I like this doll." "Thank you, Vanessa." She gently reaches out to pat her head. "I'm glad you like it." She looks at the teddy bear in her hand and suddenly utters strange words. "It kind of looks like a monster," making Vanessa curious. "Pardon? What kind of monster, my lady?" She doesn't answer, only intently observes the teddy bear in her hand, much to Vanessa's anticipation. Realizing something, Kinemia stops in shock. "This is it." Finally, she remembers. "A big hit from my past life. The protagonist got lucky in the beginning and tamed an overpowered monster, and that monster did all the heavy lifting, bringing them wealth and success." She imagines the prospect of being able to order the Munchkin monster. "Go, monster!" This is Kinemia Leon's personal thought. From the moment she caught a glimmer of hope, Kinemia buried herself in books. Let's organize the key about this world from the original novel. If I can use that knowledge to gather the strongest monsters. No powerhouses, before the protagonist does, I have a chance. She seriously makes plans to pave the way for a new future for herself. People like Ian, those who have grudge against me, must be removed from the list first. Ian Kreutz, a candidate for the Tower Master, a secretive figure who always appeared whenever the protagonist was in danger. Kinemia is a little helpless with the story in the original novel. He's the earliest one I can meet among the remaining Munchkins. So, it's really attractive, but also the most dangerous because in the novel he helped the protagonist send me to the guillotine. Ian hatred danger level 10 out of 10. After that she is taken to Duke's castle by Vanessa. Kinemia calculates in her head. I'm not trying to gamble out of greed, so I should cut my losses and avoid high-risk characters. She recalls the main plot. In the original novel, Kinemia captured Ian, who was imprisoned in Duke's castle, and treated him like a plaything. She makes up her mind. But this time, I will handle things differently, be reasonably make sure we don't become enemies. Going down to the prison cell, the prison guard slowly opens the door, respectfully reporting to Kinemia. Here we are, my lady. Stepping into the dark prison cell, Kinemia sees Ian Kreutz sitting curled up, hugging his knees on a wooden plank hanging on the wall. Ian dejectedly bows his head, wearily speaking to Kinemia, who has just entered. Wasn't the formal greeting of the Leon family I greet the wings of Leon? My Lady Grand Duchess. Kinemia irritably twists back. I'm either the Grand Duchess or my lady. What's with my Lady Grand Duchess? Ian then explains. I said both to leave a good impression. She frankly refuses his kindness, gently instructing. You don't need to impress me. Hearing her words, Ian still bows his head, hesitantly asking. Are you going to kill me right away? My Lady Grand Duchess is ruthless. But what responds to him is Kinemia's resolute denial. No. Then she turns to order the prison guard. Release him. This order from Kinemia makes the prison guard surprised to ask again. Pardon? Release him? Although ordered to be released, Ayan is still not happy, even asking Kinemia in return. So you're setting me free just to enjoy hunting me down later? Kinemia grimaces indifferently, asking back. What do you take me for? She gently lowers her head, her voice slowly whispering. I don't have the guts to kill a Rikasha. That's all. The prison guard, hearing the name from Kinemia's mouth, is shocked, anxiously asking her repeatedly. What? Rikasha? As in the tower's second in command? My lady, how do you even know that? Ayan Kreutz remains silent, looking up at her without saying anything. After a while, he gapes in a daze, softly asking Kinemia. How did you know? That I'm Rikasha? But she only vaguely answers. That's none of your concern. After ordering Ayan to be released, Kinemia also leaves the door, instructing him. Just don't get caught again, Rikasha. Coming outside, she happily smiles, cheering. That settles my ties with Ayan. Super clean, right? Clearing up a grudge feels so refreshing. A few days later, Kinemia is speechless, standing still in the dark prison cell. Ayan continues to sit in the prison cell again, even happily smiling and greeting Kinemia. Hello? Seeing this scene, Kinemia can't help but question life, yelling. Why are you here? Ayan rests his head on his knees, whining. I got caught. Again on another day in the prison cell, the prison guard is kindly offering Ayan Kreutz a piece of exquisite cake. Kid, want something to eat? Even while being imprisoned, Ayan still opens his mouth to demand. Is this all you have? The pie yesterday was good. The prison guard also kindly explains to him. That pie is only available on Wednesdays. Hearing this, Ayan also has to reach out to receive a cake. Still complaining a few words. Really? Then I'm looking forward to next Wednesday. The two of them are so leisurely while Kinemia, witnessing everything, excitedly yells. Wait. She is angry to the point of madness, gritting her teeth and yelling. Are you planning on getting caught again next week? This is how many times now? Kinemia recalls the scene of her often asking him. Again? Each time Ayan indifferently replied again, and that scene has been repeated 7 times until this time Ayan still indifferently justifies. But the pie was delicious. At this point Kinemia has to helplessly sigh, wearily asking Ayan. Do you have some kind of grudge against me? Like a personal vendetta? But Ayan is both happily chewing on the cake and nonchalantly asking her in return. Grudge? Have we met before? Kinemia stands with her arms crossed, hesitantly answering. No way. Ayan also agrees, confirming. Then nope. The conversation returns to the original focus. Kinemia again raises her voice and yells. Then why do you keep getting caught? Ayan still casually asks her. My lady, I heard you're looking for a night escort? The warden mentioned it. Kinemia, after hearing this, is furious, her eyes accusingly staring at the prison guard as if wanting to pierce through him. She thinks to herself. You told him that? The prison guard, receiving this terrifying gaze from her, can't help but tremble, admitting his mistake. I apologize, my lady. At this time, Ayan places his hand on his chest, smiling to inform Kinemia of his intention. So, I'm applying for the position. Kinemia, hearing this, spouts a bunch of reasons in an attempt to crush that idea of his. You're Rikasha. You should be busy with tower affairs. How would you even handle being a guard? Ayan still smiles, arrogantly replying. Not that busy, I'm just too talented for my own good. Kinemia again angrily clenches her fist, finding another excuse to scare Ayan. It's a temporary position, and you'll have to follow me around all day. It's touch work. But he even excitedly cheers. Wow, sounds amazing. Then Ayan even threatens her in return. Don't worry, if you don't hire me, I'll just keep getting caught. Hee hee. These words of his mate Kinemia stunned, very surprised, asking herself in her heart. What is up with this guy? What's his deal? Not seeming to want to give up, Ayan still smiles, his eyes curving, looking both gentle and harmless, facing her. Seeing that she can't extinguish Ayan's intention to be a guard, Kinemia dejectedly, worriedly thinks in her head. This is tricky. What if kicking him out just makes him hold a grudge? What if that's the route to my bad ending? Finally, Kinemia has to compromise. I don't have a choice, do I? Then Kinemia hurriedly adds a condition. Only until your side fully heals. But just this agreement from Kinemia makes Ayan cheer with a long cry. Wah! Kinemia can't do anything else. She can only silently say in her heart, "I'll keep him close for now, then kick him out once he's healed." In her head, she secretly affirms with certainty, "Definitely." Not long after that, Ayan, having been accepted as Kanemia's guard, followed her back to the castle under the astonished gazes of the two maids. The maids, seeing Ayan leisurely walking behind Kanemia, leaned in to whisper to each other, "Is that him? The lady's new escort?" One maid, slightly blushing, looks at their backs mechanically, replying, "Yeah, I heard he's a Rikasha. His beauty is already top tier." These words of hers make the maid standing on the right surprised, exclaiming, "What? He's that young and already a tower master candidate?" The two of them begin to improvise, gossiping with each other. "Told you. He trespassed on the estate a while back and got locked up, but Our Lady recognized he was a Rikasha and freed him right away. Then he got so moved that he volunteered to be her personal guard." After a long period of chatting with each other, the two maids can't help but admire Kanemia. Only Our Lady would dare take a Rikasha as an escort. They look at Kanemia's carefree, confident appearance again and again, praising. "And how she stands all the nasty rumor? She's as dignified as her mother." Kanemia, hearing these whispers, has long despaired, complaining in her heart, "Since when did these ridiculous rumors start?" At this time, suddenly there is a sound of a maid respectfully calling Kanemia. "My lady!" A maid quickly steps forward to give a bag of cakes to Ayan, carefully instructing them. "You're heading to the conference room, right? I'd bake some cookies for you too. Have some sugar before you go." Kanemia raises her head to look at her, obediently smiling and saying, "Thank you. I'll enjoy them." The maid, having delivered the cakes, also takes her leave. "No problem. I'll be off now." Kanemia politely smiles, waving goodbye to her. "Yeah, see you later." Ayan, holding the cake standing beside her, is silently looking down at the bag of cakes he just received. Then Kanemia has to gape in shock as she sees him throwing that bag of cakes straight out the window. Kanemia is surprised, softly exclaiming, "What are you doing?" Ayan calmly replies tersely, "I just don't feel like eating." She looks at him annoyed, her voice full of reproach. "If you didn't want them, you couldn't just said so. She made them for us." Ayan tilts his head and gently looks at her. "So?" Kanemia's face shows a clear expression of shock. She thinks to herself, "He's a complete sociopath." Sociopath is antisocial disorder, different from mental illness. Kanemia walks ahead of Ayan. A feeling of unease creeps into her. This guy is seriously unhinged. Totally dangerous. She speaks to break the silence. "Let's just go to the meeting. We're gonna be late at this rate." At this time, a notification appears. Ayan, hatred danger level 10+++ out of 10. Note: a sociopath. In the meeting room, the atmosphere is somber. The man wearing a blue shirt sitting on the right seriously says, "It's about time we prepare." The woman opposite him suspiciously asks, "Prepare for what?" He slams his hand on the table, gritting his teeth as he replies, The title, of course. The Grand Ducal seat is empty. How much longer must Our Lady remain merely the Grand Duke's daughter?" The woman opposite him has a dissatisfied expression. She says loudly, "His Majesty keeps postponing his approval. What can we do? Besides, assuming the title means shouldering greater responsibilities. It might be too much for someone so young." Suddenly, a voice rings out, attracting the attention of the two people. "I cannot agree with that opinion." The person continues, "Lady Kanemia has an extraordinary memory. She remembers everything she sees and hears. She is not someone to be dismissed just because of her age. I intend to support Lady Kanemia's wishes, whatever they may be." The sound of discussion continues to ring out. Arguing here won't change anything. The Leon family standing in the Empire has weakened considerably. At this time, the door of the meeting room gently opens. Everyone in the room pays attention, looking towards the door. A loud voice announces, "Lady Kanemia Leon is entering." Kanemia and Ayan step inside. A woman in the room is surprised, thinking to herself, "So that's the rumored Rikasha?" She hesitates. "My lady brought him instead of her usual nanny." Kanemia gently glances around. She softly speaks. Everyone is gathered. Ayan beside her looks at her silently. Standing in the room, a strange feeling creeps into her. Somehow, her presence feels different today. She thinks, that dignity. Kanemia is immersed in her own thoughts. She is finally aware of her position and responsibility as the head of House Leon. Only 4 vassals remain after all the hardships. Until now, I left every decision to them. She clenches her fist trying to reassure herself. But now that I have my own plan, I can't afford to act like a child anymore. Everyone in the room looks at her in surprise. This is the moment to show them the authority of their lord. She stands there silent for a long time. Kinemia quietly whispers, "The chair." Standing beside the dignified towering chair, she looks so small. Looking at the chair in front of her, she worries. It's too high. Realizing that Kinemia is a little hesitant with her seat, a person in the room is about to stand up. She hurriedly says, "My lady, allow me to." But the person beside her stops her. He hurriedly calls out, "Shh! Don't you see why my lady brought Rikasha instead of Vanessa today? And why she's acting differently?" The sound of whispers below has not ended because now she's proving that she can handle things on her own now, as the rightful head of House Leon. Kinemia stands there, her expression tense. I can hear everything. But she cheers herself on. That's right. Vanessa used to help me sit before, but from now on, I must do it myself. If I whine for help over something as simple as sitting on a chair, I don't deserve to be Grand Duchess. This thought has added motivation to her. Kinemia places both hands firmly on the chair. She puts all her strength into jumping up, her eyes expectant. At the same time, she cheers herself on. Here goes! Everyone below watches anxiously. They cheer together. Oh! Go, my lady! Almost her whole body is on the chair. She breathes a sigh of relief. I did it! But the pillow on it betrays her. It slips down. Her whole body also slides down with it. She is slightly startled. Huh! She sits on the ground with the pillow. Everyone looks at her. A silent atmosphere envelopes the room. All are still silently watching, stunned by the event that just happened. Kinemia sits on the ground embarrassedly, almost crying. The people below turn away, pretending that nothing has happened. They pretend to be paying attention to other things. We didn't see anything, my lady. That's right. I was looking out the window the whole time. The Grand Ducal Castle is truly beautiful today. Hearing this, she is a little surprised, asking, Really? At this time, Ian comes over and gently helps her up. Then he lifts her up. Kinemia is surprised, turning her head to look at him. He gently sets her safely on the seat. Facing her surprised look, he coldly says, It seemed like you wouldn't be able to climb up on your own. The retainers below speak out in discontent. My lady absolutely sat down by herself. Exactly. Her legs were just a bit too short. A man among them angrily speaks out. The Grand Duchess is a fairy. She may be smaller than her peers now, but once she sheds her human form, she will tower over you. At the same time, he imagines what the Duchess would look like when she sheds her skin and becomes a young girl. Someone objects. No matter how adorable the Grand Duchess may be, calling her a fairy is just ridiculous. Hearing this, he immediately explains. You fool! Only the pure of heart can see a fairy's wings. That's why you can't see them. The other person angrily questions. Are you calling me evil now? Ian and Kinemia only know to silently watch the people argue with each other. The quarrel continues. Yes. You can't see the fairy's wings, can you? Kinemia helplessly thinks to herself. Stop. This is just getting more humiliating. Finally unable to bear it anymore, she screamed in her herd. So please, just stop. The town scene in the morning is very peaceful and relaxing, very worthy of watching and enjoying. The stalls are bustling with buyers. The atmosphere is becoming more and more lively and vibrant. Kinemia and Ian step down from the carriage. Kinemia looks around at everything. She exclaims with interest. Wow, the market is really packed today. The two turn to say goodbye to the driver. Kinemia speaks. Alright, I'll be back soon. The driver replies. Yes, my lady. I'll wait here, so please be careful. Entering the market, seeing Kinemia turning back and forth looking for something, Ian curiously asks. So, what exactly are we looking for? Kinemia replies. A shop with a frog sign. The craftsmen I scouted are there. Ian is surprised. The ones you talked about in yesterday's meeting? She replies concisely. Yeah. Replaying the previous meeting, Kinemia sitting on the chair announces. I want to use the monster materials salvaged from the coast to make slime toys. Someone wonders. Slime toys? Kinemia explains. Yep. They're soft and squishy, super fun to play it. I think the kids in the territory would love them. She hastily adds. I already know the right craftsman for the job. Can't I? Applause rings throughout the room. Everyone's eyes are filled with tears of emotion. They choke up. To think you're planning business ventures already. How remarkable, Your Grace. Our Grand Duchess shall reign supreme over the slime industry. A voice exclaims. Supreme. Returning to reality, Ian teases. You mean the craftsman who will make my lady become the ruler of all slimes? Kinemia says embarrassedly. Stop teasing me, Ian. But unlike her plan, she thinks, it's not actually slimes I'm commissioning. Ian continues to ask, but do you really to go searching yourself? You have plenty of subordinates to send instead. But she only coldly says, I have my reasons. She instructs Ian, just let me know when you spot the frog sign. Ian looks at her puzzled. Kinemia continues to search. She is confused. Where is it? If I remember correctly, it should still be in this district. She squeezes into the crowd in front, constantly saying, Excuse me, coming through. She softly sighs. There are so many people, it's hard to walk. She thinks, we should be careful not to lost each other. Then she turns back to find Ian. She worriedly asks, Ian, you're still following me, right? Looking back, she doesn't see Ian figure anywhere. She is bewildered, standing frozen in place. Kinemia frantically thinks, he's gone. Where did he disappear to in just a few seconds? She hurriedly searches around at the same time, calling out loudly, Ian, where are you? Ian. Kinemia looks around blankly. Behind her there is a call. Hey kid, are you looking for someone? The fat man smiles friendly, pointing to direct. If you mean that black-haired boy, he went that way. She confusedly only replies, Kinemia is bumped into by the Russian crowd, suddenly remembering to express gratitude. Thank you for letting me know. He reminds, Whoa there, careful now. The man happily goes ahead to lead the way, smiling and saying, It's crowded, so I'll clear a path for you. There's only one way ahead, so if you keep going straight, you'll find your friend. She dejectedly, listlessly replies, Thank you. The city is bustling and crowded. The tall buildings are close together. Kinemia silently follows behind him to a deserted street, reaching the dead end in front of her. She realizes the danger suspiciously. Kinemia still follows the man in front of her, extremely confused, in her heart questioning. This place, isn't it way too empty? She keenly realizes, telling herself, this feels off. I should just leave. Outwardly smiling, embarrassedly speaking to run away. Sir? I think I'll be going now. I think I left something back in the market, so... His large hand grabs Kinemia's small arm, not letting her go. The man's expression gradually changes, becoming perverted and distorted. He threatens in a low voice. Where are you going? Kinemia opens her eyes wide, shocked to recognize the kidnapper in front of her. Fear mixed with surprise, she struggles, shaking off his hand, shouting, Let go! He rubs his hand, sneering. Whoa. You're stronger than you look, huh? Kinemia stands some distance away from him, puzzled. She takes a defensive stance, holding a piece of wood in her hand, sternly warning, Step back. If you come any closer, I'll hit you. The kidnapper is not afraid, but scratches his head, smiling happily, cheerfully, exclaiming, Well, aren't you just adorable? He sneers, teasing. And what exactly do you plan to do with that broom? Sweep the entire alley clean? Kinemia, while taking a defensive stance, thinks, this is bad. Her hand tightens on the broom handle, worriedly thinking, I got flustered because of Ian and ended up following a kidnapper without thinking. I shouldn't have looked around like a lost child. The kidnapper steps closer, speaking to soothe. Come on now, kid. You'll hurt your wrists like that. I may not look it, but I'm a gentleman. I'd rather not use force on a little. Kinemia decisively. Shut up. Her blue eyes are cold and sharp like an assassin on a mission, she says in a low voice. I told you to back off. The kidnapper smiles smugly, amused. You little brat. He looks at Kinemia with a perverted gaze like a hunting beast, coldly speaking, an oppressive aura. Looks like someone needs a lesson in manners. She tensely tries to stand firm, not changing her expression, silently cursing in her heart. Ian Kreutz, you idiot. The city is beautiful, the birds are flying, but behind that peaceful appearance, Kinemia is secretly resentful. You begged me to let you be my guard, and now, where the hell are you when I actually need you? The bird seems to realize something. It observes more carefully. That bird can talk, scolding. Ian, you bastard. Ian also realizes, raising his head to look. It angrily scolds. You only contact me when you need something. So, this is where you were. He sits on the roof of the church indifferently, certainly in his heart. Master, I knew you would look and come for me. Ian looks down and smiles slightly. You arrived at the perfect time. Take a look over there. The bird is curious, perching on his shoulder. Below is she standing face to face with the kidnapper. It intelligently recognizes. Is that the research subject you mentioned? The one who supposedly has no magic. Yet somehow recognize you as a Rikasha? He replies, yes. The bird is suspicious. Ho, even to me. She doesn't give off a trace of magic. Are you sure you didn't meet her before and just forgot? Ian self-satisfiedly rebuts. Would I make such a mistake? It is awkward, stammering. Well, true. That's not like you. Looking back at Kaninia's situation, the bird is dubious. But isn't she in danger right now? Indeed. She does seem to be in a precarious situation. Ian indifferently. I thought maybe she was just hiding her magic. But using broomstick swordsmanship in a situation like this? Fascinating, isn't it? Pleasantly in his heart. This is getting interesting. Hearing this, the bird is also shocked. It angrily yells. You damn brat. Why are you just standing there instead of saving her? He slowly chill. Yes. During the tense moment, she recognizes familiar footsteps approaching. Ian, like a prince walking out of a painting, reassures. I'm here to save you, my lady Grand Duchess. Kaninia is stunned. Her eyes not believing what she is seeing, she resentfully scolds. Ian, where the hell have you been? He only smiles apologetically, lightly, confessing. Sorry. Ian snaps his fingers once. The kidnapper gapes, painfully yelling. Arg! He hugs his neck laboriously, unable to speak, only able to think. I can't breathe. He coldly stands with his eyes wide open. Kaninia is extremely surprised by this scene. The kidnapper kneels down, painfully hugging his neck, saliva dribbling out. Kaninia opens her blue eyes wide, her gaze fixed on following Ian's every move. Ian, that's enough. Kaninia's voice trembles as she continues. If you keep going, he's actually going to die. Ian bows his head to the ground. No one can clearly see his emotions. Only his dark hair gently sways with each breath. Suddenly a smile gently appears on his lips, a smile that makes others who see it feel a chill down their spines. Ian asks, That was the plan, though? His unexpected words make Kaninia stop. Confusion and incomprehension are clearly visible on her face. What? Kaninia's voice of stopping rings out. No! Stop, Ian. Ignoring her words, he continues to punish him. Ian doesn't seem to understand why Kaninia is stopping him. Why? He deserves it. He is still writhing, his face pale, struggling in vain. His chest tightens, each breath becomes difficult, congested. Can't breathe. I can't breathe. Seeing that he is almost finished, she yells. Murder is a whole different matter. I told you to stop. Anger erupts in his mind. That little brat. That hateful thought screams in his head. I'll kill him. As if sensing something, both Kaninia and he simultaneously turn around, their eyes towards the struggling man. A loud noise suddenly rings out, shattering the silence. The entire flock of birds perched on the gray tiled roof simultaneously flap their wings and fly into the sky. All of his movements stop, his body stiffens, no longer struggling or making any sound. As quickly as a leaf falling from a branch in a strong wind, his body collapses to the floor. A voice rings out. Hey, kid! At the same time, someone approaches. Kaninia and Ian turn their heads, their eyes towards the person who just called them. The people who came are the Behemoth sisters. Lana sees them both and asks, Are you both alright? Both sisters don't know what happened to him. Sayer approaches Kaninia seriously instructing. Market days always bring out shady types. Next time, make sure to bring a guardian with you. Kaninia quickly says. Thank you. Just thinking about what was about to happen, she breathes a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. We almost ended up killing someone. Lana easily lifts his motionless body onto her shoulder saying, I'll hand this guy over to the guards. On this side, Sayer asks Kaninia, Where are you two headed? I can take you there. Kaninia looks up at her, sincerity clearly visible on her still slightly confused face. She softly replies, We're looking for a weapon shop with a frog sign. Do you know where it is? Sayer exclaims. A frog sign? Her eyes slightly flicker, saying, "That's our shop?" A rustic but sturdy smithy nestled amidst the green trees, the grey stone walls dotted with small windows emitting a warm golden light. The porch in front is cluttered with smithing tools. Right in front of the smithy hangs a wooden sign. On the rustic wooden background is engraved an image of a stylized frog. The Behemoth sisters enthusiastically invite Kinemia and Ian inside the smithy. "It's right here. No other customers at the moment, so come on in," Kinemia thinks as she walks. "So this is how we end up meeting Behemoth." Ian turns to ask her, "Are these the slime craftsmen?" Kinemia hesitates slightly to answer. "Yeah." Kinemia's eyes widen as she glances at the elaborately crafted equipment, unable to help but admire. "Their skills are incredible. Just like in the original story." Shiny weapons such as armor, battle axes, and shields are displayed all over the tables and on the ground. A moment of confusion appears when she looks to the side. But, in addition to the weapons on sale, the stall also has signs announcing clearance sales with buy 2 get 3 free and discounts 70%. It seems like business isn't very good. Seeing the customer's embarrassment, Lana smiles awkwardly. "The shop has quite a tranquil vibe, doesn't it?" Ian speaks bluntly to the point of hurt. "Yeah, it's so quiet and empty." Kinemia instinctively covers his mouth, hurriedly correcting. "Yes. And all the weapons on display are absolutely superb." Hearing this, Lana runs over to hold her shoulders tightly, a look of surprise clearly visible on her face. "Oh? You're so tiny, adorable, and lovable, yet you know how to evaluate weapons?" Sayer gently strokes her head, praising. "Such a smart and capable little one." Lana is very happy to see others recognize the talent of her and her sister in crafting weapons, even if the other party is just a little girl. She laughs heartily. "If you need anything, just say the word. This sister will throw in a few gifts for you." But Kinemia calmly refuses. "No." Kinemia's next words cause the pair of sisters to freeze in place. She firmly asserts, "I'll buy everything here and I'd like to place an additional order." For the first time, Sayer meets a customer who is so willing to spend and the other party is a little girl. She can't help but be confused. "Huh?" As if anticipating that somewhat suspicious attitude, she changes to a serious tone, slowly introducing. "Allow me to introduce myself formally." Kinemia's hand placed in front of her chest. Her eyes not wavering, she reveals her true identity to the two sisters. "I am Kinemia Leon." The next, she states the purpose of her visit here. "As the head of the House Leon, I'd like to discuss business with you." Hearing this, both Sayer and Lana widen their eyes in surprise, their mouths temporarily stiffen. They didn't expect the little girl who only comes up to their waist in front of them to be such a big character. It takes a long time before they exclaim, "Leon!" Like a true merchant, the two sisters regain their composure and immediately take the distinguished guest to another room to discuss. This place seems to be where they research to make new weapons, with a table cluttered with items related to the job, such as candles, hourglasses, and thick stacks of books. A hand gently placed on Kinemia's small shoulder. In front of her are all kinds of delicious-looking pastries and a pot of hot tea steaming with fragrant smoke. Lana opens her mouth. "So," sitting upright on the comfortable sofa, behind her is Lana working hard to massage her, taking the opportunity to spout sweet invitations like a stream of honey. "What kind of order does our dear Grand Duchess have in mind?" Sayer sits beside her, thoughtfully bringing cakes to her mouth. Kinemia can't help but admire herself. "So this is the taste of power." Kinemia's small face flushes slightly. Feeling a little embarrassed by the extremely enthusiastic attitude of the two sisters, she slowly tastes a piece of chocolate cookie, silently counting the information she knows about them, the Behemoth sisters. Lana and Sayer are still immersed in the joy of signing a huge deal. Kinemia retrieves the memories describing this pair of sisters, the finest blacksmiths who crafted weapons for the original protagonist. They are exactly the kind of skilled artisans Leon needs right now. According to Kinemia's memory, actually the weapons commonly used in this world all share one major flaw: they corrode when exposed to monster blood. She thinks it over. Because of that, weapons used against monsters need to be replaced regularly. The problem? Replacing them each time costs a fortune. Kinemia is extremely worried about the financial investment for the combat process. "I can still manage for now thanks to my father's inheritance, but if I don't find a solution, I won't be able to sustain these expenses much longer." Finally, she draws the conclusion. "That's why I need weapons that won't melt from monster venom." According to the original story, anti-monster weapons must be crafted from monsters themselves, and to process those materials, a blacksmith skilled in aura manipulation is required. Just like the behemoth standing before me now. Kinemia puts down the teacup. I'm not just here for a one-time commission. Kinemia calmly. Leon wants an exclusive contract with Behemoth. Sayer and Lana are stunned. An exclusive contract? Kinemia slowly says. Yes, I'd like you to come under Leon's wing and craft the equipment we need. Sayer and Lana turn to whisper to each other with a volume that is not considered small. No, is this some kind of slave contract? Are you trying to tie us with no way out? Kinemia is speechless. I can hear everything. Lana suspiciously whispers. But Sayer, would such a tiny, adorable young lady really scam us? Sayer deeply glances at Kinemia. Don't judge by appearance, Lana. Kinemia announces again. I said I can hear you. Kinemia thoughtfully thinks. Since this era doesn't even have the concept of using monsters as materials, and I deceived even my retainers, I must make these two mine. She seriously states the need. I want to forge a sword that can stand against monsters. Kinemia requests. A sword that doesn't have to be discarded after every battle, but one that remains strong and can be used continuously. These words arouse Sayer's interest. She looks straight at Kinemia, hesitating slightly. That means... Sayer clarifies the request that she just heard. Is the Grand Duchess requesting a sword that doesn't corrode from a monster's blood? Kinemia easily replies. Yes, a special weapon that doesn't yet exist in this world. Ian silently crosses his arms and leans against the wall, listening to this information that seems to be impossible. Kinemia continues to make additional requests. I was thinking of foregoing it using a monster's bones. Hearing this, Lana's face lights up. She excitedly asks. A sword refined from monster's bones. A sword that doesn't exist in this world yet. Lana is completely fascinated by this idea. I want to make... Sayer calmly restrains her sister, covering Lana's mouth to prevent her from agreeing too excitedly right away. Why would you entrust such an important task to us? As you can see, we're just countryside blacksmiths. Kinemia indifferently. To process a monster, one must know how to handle aura, and you both can wield aura. Sayer and Lana are startled, guilty. How do you know that? Kinemia slowly tells a reasonable reason. My mother was very pleased when she saw Behemoth's swords in the Grand Duchy and told me about it. She said it was a blade forged using aura. She thinks. Though, in truth, I already knew because of the original story. Kinemia says sharply. Everyone know who my mother is, right? Sayer and Lana slowly reply. The Grand Duchess's mother is the hero, Aria Leon. The two are immersed in happiness when they think about the fact that the sword they made is cherished by a hero. Sayer feels lightheaded, wondering. A hero recognized our sword. Lana laughs. See, I told you someday, someone would acknowledge us. The two gently discuss with each other. Lana, what do you think? Honestly, I want to do it. Kinemia happily thinks. Good. Just a little more convincing, and they'll agree. Thinking this, even her voice is more cheerful. The contract terms won't be bad. We'll fully support the necessary equipment and materials. Ian pensively leans against the wall. He glances at Sayer and Lana, secretly admiring. So, they're known as slime artisans, yet they're blacksmiths who can wield aura. Ian crosses his arms thoughtfully. She also instantly recognized me as a Rikasha. This Grand Duchess keeps surprising me. But instead of sending subordinates to bring us, why is she going through all this trouble herself? He quietly glances at Kinemia, pondering. Is she still hiding something? In that happy atmosphere, a voice rings out. But... Kinemia suddenly stops. Her eyes are attracted by something. Ian continues speaks out. Is that person with your group? As soon as the words are finished, everyone sees a figure peeking outside the window. A voice rings out. Brian? The man outside knew he had been discovered. He quickly runs away. Lana, after clearly seeing the person outside, her face is full of anger. She gnashes her teeth, angrily yelling. That bastard! She grabs a weapon and rushes out, shouting. Stop right there, you perverted freak! Sayer calls after her from inside the house. Lana! She hurriedly chases after them, only having time to turn her head and say a few words. Grand Duchess, we'll have to continue this conversation another time. I'm sorry. As soon as the words are finished, Sayer shouts again. Lana! Wait! Both people leaving him and her in the empty house along with the word, "Huh," big in her head. A chase has made this peaceful land more noisy than ever. Brian runs for his life, followed by shouts. "Hey! You there!" His face is full of panic, dripping with sweat, panting as he runs. The voice behind him continues to ring out. "Stop right there!" Running with a lot of blood, Brian is suddenly grabbed by someone by the collar, only having time to shout, "Guh!" Lana slams him down on the ground, shouting, "I said stop!" Being attacked suddenly, he shouts, "Ack!" Brian keeps retreating backwards, panically saying, "Gr, what the hell are you doing? Why are you chasing me?" She is holding an axe in her hand, approaching him, her voice full of anger. "You shameless pervert, shut your damn mouth!" Lana stands in front of him, speaking. "I told you if I ever saw you lurking near my house again, I'd kill you. So why the hell are you snooping around again, huh?" He hurriedly justifies. "Snooping? Who's snooping? You're the one threatening me with a hammer when I was just passing by." She angrily yells, "Yeah, because you were peeking into my house." In her head, she remembers a time when she was bathing and Brian was standing outside the window looking in. He looks at Lana in surprise and somewhat confused, exclaiming, "Ha! Peeking? Who, me? You still haven't gotten over that paranoia of yours?" Seeing his reaction, she stiffens, her eyes wide with resentment, raises the axe high, yelling, "You little..." Sayer holds her hand before the axe can be struck down. "Enough, Lana." Lana looks in surprise at the person behind her. She whispers, "Sayer?" She hurriedly says, "Lana, have you forgotten how you scared our customers last time? Please stop acting without thinking." Lana says a little unbelievingly, "What?" Lana asks her, "So you're saying I should just let that slide? What if that bastard spies on us again?" Brian, sitting on the ground, pretends to be innocent, saying, "When did I ever do that?" His face is full of contempt. He brazenly says, "Do you have any proof? Do you think I don't see what you're trying to do?" Brian continues to pervertly say, "Your business isn't doing well, so you're trying to squeeze some money out of me by framing me as a pervert." The two are stunned by what he just said. Lana yells angrily, "Don't talk nonsense. The only reason our shop isn't doing well is because you went around badmouthing us to the entire village." He curses while sitting on the ground. "Lies." Brian sneers, teaching a lesson in a haughty manner. "It's so easy to paint someone as the villain? I only stopped by because my father owns your shop's building, and now I'm a what? A pervert? You're blaming other people because your products are garbage." Being provoked by him, Lana becomes even more insane. She yells, "Like you know anything about quality when you've probably never even held a real weapon." Sayer, standing behind, pulls her hand. "Lana, that's enough. Let's just go back." After hearing the venomous snake Brian fabricate, the villagers quickly believe his words. They whisper gossip. A woman whispers, "So you're saying they're acting like this because their business is failing?" The man beside her replies, "Looks that way." Sayer hurriedly justifies, "That's not true. We wouldn't do something like this just because the shop is struggling." He becomes more and more proud, saying, This is so unfair. So unfair. I felt bad that your business was struggling, so I went to buy something, and this is how you repay me? Now I'm the bad guy." Brian turns on the green tea mode, selling miserably non-stop, while Sayer struggles to explain, "That's not true." The villagers only believe what they want to believe. Her explanation is like a drop in the ocean. The crowd continues to gossip. Standing under the sunset, both are a little helpless in the face of what has happened. At this time they feel the mouth of the world and its maliciousness. Lana's face is a little sad. She is lost in thought. A voice comes back in her mind. "Apologize right now." A woman is holding a child. In front of her are the behemoth sisters who are now children. She shouts loudly, "Look at my kid's face. You left a bruise. What if it leaves a scar? Are you going to take responsibility?" Sayer lowers her head as sincerely as possible, admitting her mistake. "I'm truly sorry. It won't happen again." Lana looks at her appearance, softly says, "Sayer." Sayer bows her head deeper, continuing, "We deeply regret what happened. Please, just give one change to make things right." Lana thinks in her head, She tightly clenches her hands, trembling, clutching at her skirt to restrain her emotions. Lana thinks in her heart, "Seeing Sayer bowing her head because of me. I really hate it." She lets go of her hand, causing the axe to fall to the ground. Lana gently lowers her head. She says to Sayer, "Let's go, Sayer." Seeing her action makes her feel surprised. Sayer gently closes her eyes, a little sadly replying, "Yeah." A loud laugh echoes behind the two sisters Lana and Sayer. "Ha ha!" Brian sits still, pointing and sarcastically saying loudly, "Look at them running away the moment they get called out. You all saw that, right? That's just the kind of people they are. Unbelievable, just unbelievable." Two figures walk on the paved road. "Honestly, I always thought it was weird." A thought appears. Two young women running a blacksmith shop? That never made sense. Sayer frowns, complaining. "They've probably never even used the tools we make." A voice rings out. "Sayer." Sayer blankly looks towards the person speaking. The voice continues. "I'm really sorry for causing all this." Lana stands in the sunlight. Her eyes are teary. "This time too, because of me." She chokes. Sayer stands stiffly blankly. Childhood memories return. The suitcase and small bags are neatly placed. "Lana, did you pack everything? You didn't forget anything, right?" Lana replied, "Yes." The Behemoth sisters leisurely walk on the sunny road. Both are carrying something. Sayer walks in front with a hope for the future, asking her younger sister, "Will we ever be able to settle down in one place?" Lana apologetically explains to Sayer, "I'm sorry, Sayer, but that bastard had the nerve to say I looked like I was raised by wolves." Sayer comforts her younger sister. "Yeah, I know he started it," she advises. "But Lana, no matter how angry you get, you can't just throw punches." Sayer sadly talks to her. "If you do, we might have to keep running forever. We have nothing, and there's no one to believe us or take our side." A small hand grabs Sayer's hand. "What are you talking about, Sayer? We have each other." Lana naively comforts Sayer. "If no one else will look out for us, then we'll just take care of each other. That's what we've always done." Sayer is moved, her face flushed when she hears her younger sister's words. She teases Lana. "When have you ever taken care of me? If anything, I'm the one always looking after you." Lana cheerfully. "Oh, really?" Back to present, Sayer suddenly stood still, realizing they were not wrong. Why did they have to leave? Why does Lana have to apologize? The ones truly in the wrong were always someone else. We extended every effort to be a part of this community, boundly to be met with coldness. The image of the villagers pointing and chasing them away appears. Do we really have to be flawless just to be accepted by them? A voice rings out. "You're right, Lana." Lana turns her head to listen to the voice. Sayer's hand tightly grabs the hammer. "If no one will help us or believe in us, then we'll just be there for each other. We'll protect and take care of one another." "Sayer?" Lana calls emotionally. She opens her eyes wide and stares at Sayer. A voice rings out. "At the very least." Sayer raises the hammer in her hand, preparing to hit Brian. "I'll stand by you." Seeing this, Lana shouts loudly, wanting her older sister to stop. "Sayer!" Images of blood splattered everywhere appeared. "Aya!" A scream echoes. Sayer is stunned. Lana rushes towards her. She yells, "Sayer!" Brian is shocked by Sayer's actions. He sweats profusely, reaching out to touch his head. "My head. It's still attached, right?" Brian mutters curses. "That crazy girl, seriously." Sayer blankly looks at her hand thinking, "What just happened?" "The hammer, it's gone." The person wearing black boots is approaching to stop them. "Everyone, stand down." It's Kanemia. She steps forward, followed by Ian. "I'll handle this from here." Lana is worried about Sayer. She sees the hammer in Ian's hand. "Sayer, isn't that your hammer?" Lana grabs her shoulder. Sayer is surprised. "Why is my hammer over there?" The two sisters look towards Kanemia. She stands sternly in front of Brian. "Hey, you." She stands in the sun, her hair fluttering. Kanemia orders Brian, "Apologize to Lana and Sayer, right now." After Kanemia's sudden appearance, Brian slowly stands up, his voice resentful and contemptuous. "Ha, and who are you? Stay out of this, kid, you don't know anything." He points towards the Behemoth sisters, loudly denying responsibility. "Why should I apologize? They're the ones who framed me because they're blinded by money." As soon as Brian finishes speaking, Kanemia counters with a sharp voice. "Lies." Her face is cold, lowering her voice, accusing him. You were just spying on us a moment ago." Brian is hit where it hurts, panically stammering. "What? Don't accuse me without proof." Kinemia ignores his words and continues to speak. Behemoth and I were discussing a contract involving a massive investment. Her voice is angry. So they framed you as a pervert just to scam you out of a few pennies? Brian immediately replies, his voice contemptuous. Don't you know that beggars are always the greediest? He continues to loudly utter sarcasm. Those bastards would totally do that. In his head he is secretly recalling Kinemia's previous words. Investment funds. Brain's eyes assess her from head to toe, suspicious in his heart. That brat, who the hell is she? Judging by her outfit, she's not a noble. I've never seen someone like her in the local social circles. There's no way I'd forget a face that striking. After thinking for a while, Brian is certain in his heart. Then that means she's just the daughter of some rich merchant, nothing special. Thinking this, he shows contempt on his face sarcastically. And did you really expect the contract to go through with such lousy skills? Brian continues to insult. Using me as an excuse to leech off my father's wealth must have seemed easier. Lana can't bear it anymore, angrily yelling. That damn Dash! She intends to rush forward, but is stopped by Kinemia. Ian, who has been watching for a while. Kinemia can't bear it anymore, and speaks out. Have you ever held Behemoth's sword? Have you ever properly seen a farming tool? He arrogantly confronts. Why would I ever touch something like that? Continuing Brian boastfully. You must not know who my father is. I have absolutely no need to work with things like that, you see? Ha! Hearing this, she sighed wearily. Well, Kinemia is indifferent, scornful. With those frail arms that can't do anything but point fingers, it'd be impossible for you to lift one anyway. And do you really have nothing to brag about other than your father? Her words touch Brian's self-esteem. He boils over, gritting his teeth. You little Dash! His hand raises, preparing to slap her. Then suddenly someone loudly calls out to stop. Stop! The voice continues to ring out behind. What's this commotion in the streets? The powerful voice makes him freeze, turning his head to look. The person behind is a man wearing clothes that look like a noble. Seeing that person, Brian immediately recognizes him and speaks out. Count Bryn. His face is beaming, secretly happy in his heart. Just in time, Count has arrived. This works out well, this arrogant pup. I'll make him beg. Thinking this, Brian quickly runs to him, warmly introduces himself and conveniently accuses Kinemia. Count, it's Brian. I greeted you at the last party. Just in time, you arrived. I've been unjustly framed Dash. Before he can finish speaking, the Count's face freezes, his eyes widen in surprise as if seeing something unbelievable, unconsciously blurting out. How? He exclaims. The Grand Duchess. Then quickly rushes past Brian to move forward. Brian looks blankly, not understanding why he said that, wondering. The Grand Duchess. Count Bryn runs to kneel in front of her, bowing in worship. I am honored to meet the Wings of Leon. Continuing, he is polite. If I had known you were visiting, I would have come to greet you. Kinemia also gently replies. It's all right, I just came to briefly see the artisan I mentioned before. Looking at the two people in front of him, Brain is stunned, his head full of suspicion. What's going on? What is this? That little brat is the Grand Duchess. Uneasy in his heart. What is the Grand Duchess doing here? Why? At this time, Kinemia in front of him glances at Brain and then speaks out. Anyway. Kinemia decisively points towards him and accuses. Count, can you help me solve this issue regarding that person? He is a pervert who's been constantly bullying the talented people I've had my eye on. The unexpected situation stuns Brain. Count Bryn is surprised, looking him over and asking. The pervert who's been bullying the Grand Duchess's talent, you say? Kinemia affirms firmly. Yes, that's right. The Behemoth sisters follow the trend, revealing all of Brain's crimes. When I rejected his advances, he secretly came into our house and spied on us. He even spread false rumors to disrupt our business. Kinemia also adds a few other crimes of his. On top of that, in a public place, he slandered us without any basis, and he kept insisting me with a sword. Hearing this, Brain flusteredly defends. The Grand Duchess. Everything is my fault. She doesn't bother with his empty explanations, indifferently glancing at him. Brain, seeing this, looks terrified, sweating profusely. Ha! She continues coldly requesting. Apologize to those two. I won't repeat the same words again. Hearing this, his whole body trembles, thinking, why, how did it come to this? The people on the street have witnessed everything, they whisper gossip. What? Was what the sisters said true? I can't believe I went against someone who even made the Count bow his head. It doesn't seem like he'll let this slide. Hearing the words of those around him, Brain is scared in his head. At this rate, that thought keeps repeating in his mind. At this rate Then Brain kneels down on the ground. He is kneeling in front of the Behemoth sisters, his whole body trembling, summoning all his courage and loudly. Lana! Sayer! I was wrong, I'm sorry. Brian continues to beg. I'll beg like this, so please forgive me, okay? Before his plea, Lana and Sayer are only silent and don't utter a word. Immediately after, 2 soldiers following the Count step forward to arrest Brain. Their sudden action shocks him. Brain is unwilling, yelling, What? I apologized. Let go of me. Count Bryn, seeing this, then speaks. You said your name was Brian? I was actually coming to verify the complaints about you. He continues to interrogate him. They say you've been harassing women and trying to silence them with money? Brain, even while being forcibly taken away, still vehemently denies. No, it's a frame-up. He, having been dragged far away, still yells loudly to justify. I'm being framed, I tell you. That action can't help but make everyone around look on. Everything has been settled. The Behemoth sisters attentively listen to the conversation between Count Bryn and Kanemia. Grand Duchess, I apologize if the recent matter has upset you. I'll go handle the remaining tasks. Kanemia only replies gently. I believe you'll take care of that pervert well. As soon as the conversation ends, the sisters call Kanemia. Grand Duchess. Hearing this, she also turns her head to look. Sayer looks embarrassed, thanking Kanemia. If it weren't for your help, we would have become murderers. Really, we are truly grateful. Lana beside her, her face radiant with joy, also follows. Me too. Thank you so much. Seeing this, Kanemia then ponders. Right, in the original story, they were forced to wander the battlefield because of the stigma of being murderers. If I had been even a little late, it could have been disastrous. After a few minutes, she quickly replies. No need for thanks. Her face is smiling brightly, continuing. But tell me, are you now willing to make a contract with me? Kanemia persuades them. I spoke loudly in front of everyone, and if I don't make the contract now, they might think I'm just bluffing. Kanemia's words make the Behemoth sisters surprised. Then the 2 sisters look at each other without uttering a word, but their eyes implicitly understanding each other's intentions, smiling. Immediately after, the Behemoth sisters reluctantly but happily speak. I suppose there's no choice. Then the 2 of them say in unison. I'll do it, the contract. A few days pass on a clear morning with bright sunlight shining into the magnificent castle. In that palace, on the wooden table appears a glistening bright green sticky goo. Kanemia looks at the blob of gobbling on the table surprised, thinking, You really made a slime. As expected of Behemoth, she hesitates this. I didn't exactly ask you to make this. Lana happily explains. It would be a waste to leave monster materials unused. And it wasn't really that hard to make. Sayer, standing beside, adds. The monster-slaying weapon might take a bit more time, but I wanted to show you something before that, so I made this. She says expectantly. I tried my best to create the most realistic feeling. Try touching it. Hearing this, Kanemia hesitates. Okay. Then puts her hands to knead the green sticky goo. She kneads it a couple of times and finds it sticky, happily kneading it continuously. The 2 Behemoth sisters, seeing this, then ask, How does it feel? Because Kanemia is too engrossed in the new toy, she just keeps kneading it without responding. After a while, she reacts, her voice satisfied. This is fun. Hearing this, Lana excitedly says, I'm glad to hear that. Next time, I'll make it in a different color. Sayer also enthusiastically asks, What color would you like? Pink? Blue? In another corner of the castle, bright sunlight shines through the foliage, some feathers flutter. A voice speaks. How long do you plan on staying here? It turns out to be the voice of Iron's master. He flies around Iron's head. Below, he is leaning against the wall reading a book. Iron's master speaks with incomprehension. I've already guaranteed that the young lady has no magical power, and the research results have come out, right? Iron slowly replies but avoids the focus. I plan to stay until my wound are fully healed. He tilts his head in surprise. Wound? It's been several months already, and it still hasn't healed properly? Iron puts on a pitiful face, begging. I was seriously injured this time, wasn't I? It just won't heal properly. Seeing this, Ian's master secretly fumes. What a shameless guy. He lies every time he opens his mouth. He is helpless, sighing, his voice reluctant. Well, it's actually for the best. Don't come back for a while and take some time to reflect on your actions. Ian's master continues, his voice blaming. The elders are really upset because of what you did this. Ian indifferently replies as if he didn't do anything wrong. Are you talking to me? I was just retaliating against the Leon gang that attacked me first. He tries to give reasons to defend himself while recalling the bloody deadly scene that night. It was self-defense, self-defense. He repeats in surprise, then rebuts justifiable. Self-defense? No matter how much you say it was for defense. Saying this, Ian's master snaps loudly. You killed a dozen mages from the magic tower, and you're calling it self-defense. Do you know how much trouble I've had covering for you? Even while being scolded like that, Ian on this side is still holding the book, closing his eyes and calmly replying. Still, I spared the life of Leon, whom the old men cherish, Ian says with a mysterious look. And my research isn't finished yet, master. Between the clear sky, the two discuss together. Ian's master asks with a weary voice. What are you planning to do now? Ian's eyes light up. There's still one experiment left to try. He thinks about the adorable Kanenia. To see if there's something truly special about the Grand Duchess.